In just 10 minutes time, you're gonna know how to edit videos in Adobe Premiere Pro. So first up, we need to download the software. Head over to adobe.com or just search up Adobe Premiere Pro. Now this is a paid for software where you pay with a monthly subscription. You can either download it by itself or you can download it as part of Adobe Creative Cloud. That includes things like Photoshop, Lightroom, and a bunch of other tools. It tends to be a better deal if you download Creative Cloud. However, if you just want to learn video editing, just select Premiere Pro. So go ahead and get that downloaded. This tutorial is being done on a MacBook. However, the process is exactly the same for PC. So once it's all downloaded, head down to the icon and let's load it up. Now you should be greeted with this landing page. Yours might look slightly different as these here are my previous projects, but if you've never used the software before, then it will likely be blank. Head over to the new project button up at the top left-hand side, and we can give our project a name and select where we want it to be saved. Don't just leave it as untitled. This will get really confusing if you always leave your projects as untitled, as you won't know which one's which. I'm going to call it test video for YouTube. By clicking on the location button and choose location, it'll open up your file browser. I'm going to create a new folder on my desktop and I'm going to call it test video project. Just call it whatever the video is about. It's important you make this folder because this is where we're going to save the video clips to in a minute. And then press the select button. We don't want any template and we want to skip the import mode. Hit create. And voila, you have successfully made it inside of Premiere Pro. Now, if yours has a different layout to this, just head up to the window button at the top and go Workspaces and select editing. And then it should look the same. Okay, so this is the stage where we're gonna get any video clips, any music, any photos, anything you want to be in this video and get this sent across to your computer. We can see here, I've got 3 video clips and a music track. I'm going to select them all and I'm just going to drop and drag them into the folder that we made a second ago. It's important you keep everything together in the same folder. Now, back in Premiere Pro, down in the left-hand corner here, we should see the import media button. And by selecting that, it's going to bring up our file browser. Navigate to the folder that you've just made by holding Command on a Mac, or I think it's Control on a PC. You can select multiple different clips and then we select import. And now we've brought these video clips inside of Premiere Pro into the project panel. The next stage is to create a sequence. And this is where we can arrange the video clips and add the music as well. There are 2 ways of creating a sequence. The first way is by clicking on one of the video clips in our project folder and dragging it across to the sequence area. And if we let go, it has created a sequence. The sequence is made up of video layers and audio layers. To play the video, we can select the play button or just hit spacebar on our keyboard. And there we go, job's a good one. And we can press the spacebar to stop it as well. This blue line here is the playhead. If we click and drag on it, we can move it across the timeline. Whatever that blue line is lined up with, that is what will be visible in the preview window. The second way of creating a sequence is by going to File, New, and Sequence. By hitting the Settings tab, we can manually choose every setting we want to do with the sequence. Why is there 2 different ways of doing this? Well, by dropping and dragging the video clip straight into the sequence area, it will create a sequence that matches the aspect ratio, the size, and the frame rate of the video clip. So if you drop and drag a TikTok clip in, it will make the sequence as a TikTok sequence. If you drop and drag a widescreen clip in, it will make it a widescreen sequence. You should make the sequence manually like this if you know you specifically want the video to be a certain size or aspect ratio. For example, a YouTube widescreen video would often be 1920 by 1080p. A normal TikTok video would be 1080 by 1920. You can put those numbers in the box here and it will tell you the aspect ratio. We can hit OK and then we know the sequence and therefore the final video will be that size. Okay, so now we're going to run through the different tools that are available for you to use. All of these icons here are different video editing tools. You can see here, we currently have the top one selected, which is the selection tool. The selection tool is the one that you will find yourself using the most, as it essentially is just a mouse clicker. By clicking on stuff, we can move it around in the timeline. It could change what layer it is. We can hover our mouse over the end of a clip. And by clicking and dragging, we can trim the end of the clip shorter, or we can extend the clip to its full length. And you can do this on either end of the video. This tool is mainly used when you're arranging the clips and you are trimming off the ends of the clip. You can see here, when I have my mouse hovered over the tool, it brings up the name and it also has the letter V in brackets. Now that letter is the corresponding key on my keyboard. If I were to click V, it would instantly switch my tool to be the selection tool. So you can see down here, say I've got the type tool. If I press T on my keyboard, it will instantly switch to the type tool. You'll find that over time, when you get used to using the software, it's much faster just to press the keys on the keyboard and instantly switch to the tool that you need the most. If we bring in a second video clip, we can see here how the clips sort of magnetize to each other. And that is because we have this button switched on. We know it's switched on because it's got the gray box around it. Essentially, this means that when you move clips around, if they are close to being lined up, it will automatically magnetize them in line with each other. And it just saves you having to zoom in and make sure that everything is perfectly lined up with each other. That is the selection tool. We could trim these clips down. We can line them up next to each other. And by hitting spacebar, we can see the rocket launch. And then as the video clips are touching each other, it will blend seamlessly straight into the next one, which is the chef chopping the food. If we wanted to rearrange them, we could click on it, drag to the end, hit spacebar, and now it's the other way around. Now, both of those clips are on the same layer, but what happens if the clips were to be on separate layers on top of each other? If I bring the rocket launch clip up a layer, we can see it's above the chef clip. By having my mouse hovered over the top, we can only see the rocket clip. And that's because when you look at the timeline, you are looking from the top down. Whatever is on the top layer is what's going to be visible. And then underneath that, it's going to be covered up by that video. So if I were to delete this rocket clip by hitting backspace on my keyboard, we can see that underneath it was the chef clip. We know a video clip has been selected as it has a white box around the edge. And when it's selected, you will see this information pop up on the left-hand side. These are all the properties of that video clip, and these numbers can be changed if we want to manipulate the size of the clip, the rotation, the scale, anything we want here, we can change. So if I go to scale and change it from 100% scale to 150, hit enter, we've now scaled up the size of that clip. And the same goes again if I put 50, it's half of the original size. The faster and easier way of manipulating these numbers is hovering your mouse over the number, clicking down, and then dragging left and right. If you drag to the left, it will reduce the number and therefore, in this instance, make the clip smaller. If you drag it to the right, it'll increase the number, therefore make the video bigger. This also applies to any of these other values. So rotation, more to the left, more to the right. The opacity, so how transparent it is, 100%, 0%, you get the gist. Next up, we have the track select forward tool. All it means is everything to the right-hand side of where you click is selected and you can move everything at the same time. Say if I wanted to make a gap in between these clips here, instead of individually moving everything across, that would take forever and be really messy, I could have this tool selected, click here, and it will move everything that way. Another way of moving multiple clips at once is just by highlighting a box over everything you want, and we can move those around. Pressing Command Z on your keyboard or Control Z if you're on a PC will undo whatever the last action you did was. Next, I'm going to show you the rate stretch tool. If yours looks different from this, just hold down the button and change it to rate stretch tool. Now, having this tool selected and clicking on the end of a video clip, if we drag the clip out, instead of extending the end of the clip, it stretches the clip. And if I stretch it to the 10-second mark, then it's going to play at half the speed. So we can see that it's actually slowed the video down. We haven't cut anything off the end. We've just stretched the video out. The same goes the other way. So if I were to squish it down to be about 1 second, it's now going to play 5 seconds worth of footage in 1 second, which means it has to play it really fast. Next, we have the razor tool, and this is probably the second most useful one on the list. Having the razor tool selected, it'll bring up the razor blade icon, and wherever we click on the video, or if it was a music track, it's going to split it where we click it. So we've now turned this one video into 2 smaller videos, and there is a gap. If you wish to get rid of gaps in your timeline, we can select the gap just by clicking, press backspace, or you can right click on it, rip or delete, it's the same thing, and it'll close the gap for you. This is an example of a video clip that has sound. So as I bring it in, we now have the video layer and the audio layer. Just by dragging this layer open, we can see the waveforms here.
This is a video clip that has audio too.
As we move the video clip around, the audio will stay in line with it as well. Now let's add a song. So we've got a song here, which we can just drop and drag into the audio section. We can see it's here because we can see the waveform. I'm gonna shift that up and make this a bit bigger. And if I hit play, super, super loud, way louder than we want. We can make it quieter by selecting the line in the middle and dragging it down. We can see the decibels are just going down. And if I were to let go now, it would be at minus 16.7 decibels.
This is
fantastic. Same rules apply for audio, where we can trim the ends off. You could use the razor tool to cut that part here. We can select this bit and hit backspace, delete it, move stuff around.
this.
We can select the line on her voice, make that louder as well.
A video.
If you want a track to be muted, we can press the mute button. If we don't want to see a track, we can hide it.
How cool!
Finally, we've got the text tool. So with that selected, click anywhere on the screen and just type what you want. Vlog in Paris. Double clicking will select all of the text. And then just from this drop down at the top, we have all of the text settings you could possibly change. The font, the color, the background. Up in this top right-hand corner, we have the effects panel. This is a library of pre-made effects that you can drop and drag onto your clips. If I type in cross dissolve and we can drag it down, it will snap to the beginning of the asset. So if I let go, and now as I play it, our text fades in. There are so many different effects, so just have a scroll and have a play and see what you like. Last but not least, I'm going to show you keyframing. Now, keyframe is essentially where you can set specific values in this effects panel, and you can have it change throughout the video. For example, if I have the text selected, if I go over to the effects panel, I can change the left and right motion just from changing this value. If I click the stopwatch icon, you can now see there's been a keyframe that's been added to the timeline. This timeline is the same as the timeline at the bottom. They're linked. Just up here, it only shows it for the text. At this point in the video, we want the text to be on the left-hand side. We say, right, at this point, we now want the text to be on the right-hand side. You can drag that value and change it. And as the video plays, between those two keyframes, we're going to change the position to be from here to here. So it should move across the screen. So if I hit spacebar, we can see between those two dots, it's moved. You could do this for any of the values in the effects panel. Right, so you're finished with the video and you want to get it sent to your phone. First, drag the playhead to the beginning of the video that you've made and press I on the keyboard. That is telling Premiere Pro that is the beginning of my video. And now we drag the playhead to the end of the video and we hit O on our keyboard. And that has created an out point. And that's just telling Premiere Pro, hey, ignore everything else in the sequence. This is the section that is my finished piece of work. Going up to the export button at the top, we will then be able to give our video a name. We can choose where we want the video to be saved and then press the export button down in the bottom right-hand corner. Head over to your folder and we can see the video is finished. So there we have it. That is the basics of Premiere Pro covered. Now, obviously that is a super fast overview. There is so much more that you could learn about the program. If you want to see anything specific, please just comment down below what you'd like to see or what you're stuck on and I'll do my best to reply. If you found this at all useful or helpful, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much and hopefully I will see you in the next one.